guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, a Spanish Wells landowner is accusing the police and the Department of Immigration of breaking the law. You've seen the videos on social media and you too had your say. Well, we have the latest coming up for you. Also tonight, it's a video that was seen and heard around the world.
So what was the option again? Because I'm so lost right now.
If Fully Dunce was a person. My panelists will weigh in later in the show. Also tonight, it's an innocent enough video. Students at Garventine's primary school happy to put on a majority rule assembly or rule day assembly, and that went viral. Good, right? Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Well, it went viral for all the wrong reasons. We'll talk about that as well coming up. Also, many of you panicked today after the United States' new visa policy named the Bahamas. We have the latest on that for you. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. A government operation in Spanish Wells turning chaotic and raising serious concerns about public safety and respect for law. Officials are saying that there was none, but the landowner is telling a different story, one of having his private property invaded. Let's get to the bottom of it this evening. Blake Pinder joins me here on Beyond the Headlines. Good evening to you, Blake. It's good to have you here. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines.
Good evening, Shanique. Well, glad to be here.
It's good to have you here, Blake. Blake, let's talk about what took place a couple of days ago. There were many videos. I think you took most of them.
Yes, ma'am.
And very, very angry about having your private property invaded, you say?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's talk about it.
If I was so offended, let me start by saying if I offended anybody that I didn't know, I was not speaking to anybody else, only the people that invaded and disrespected myself and my family. In my regards, I'll let you be the judge of that tonight. But no, it was my father's land that was passed down to me and my sister, and property ownership, everything's done. And for 2 years now, my family's been fighting, asking questions. How can we fix it? What can we do to make it better? We was trying to do everything in accordance to the law. My father had it there since 1979.
Decades.
Yes, ma'am.
And so let's just set the foundation here. So this property, this land, has turned into a residential community.
It was since about 2017. It was fully church and everything. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, a full community.
Yes, ma'am. No, just short of a school and a clinic.
And so how many people live there? By the way, it's a community that obviously his father developed for Haitians.
Yes.
In Spanish Wells. How many people live there?
By recommendation of Spanish Wells people, because as you know, when you sign papers for them, you need to sign saying you'll have somewhere for them to live. So my father, being the person he was, wanted to help them find sustainable, livable places. So he allowed them to build their place, live for a year for free, and then pay $25 a week for a room. And right now they're paying me $50 a week for a room.
So they build on that land,
yeah.
And obviously many have been there for many years, and they pay about $50 a week.
That was from my father. But
right. Since
my father, no, I was trying to do it the right way, but with threats of being knocked down at every point.
Well, let's just talk about it. See, so Blake, how many people live on this piece of property?
Approximately about maybe 62, 63.
So how many houses are there or structures?
It was approximately 14 structures.
So you had this well sort of contained and maintained.
Yes. Well, since my father's passing 6 years ago, I brought it up well beyond standards. Granted, they was threatening to break it down at every corner, so I couldn't spend a lot of money into it with nobody. Local government said there was nothing I could do. 2 days before they come to break it down, I got into contact with MP Sylvanus Petty. He guaranteed me we will overlook this, nothing will happen. They come and broke it down on majority.
How you could guarantee that? And I understand that the notices were sent out since March of 2025 or 2024?
Ma'am, I work and own a business. They have never once approached me, with any notification. They went and stuck and notified my tenants and stuck papers on their doors. Nobody has ever approached me to show me a paper or say anything regarding what I was doing wrong or anything.
So you're saying you were the landlord after all.
Yes,
so you're saying they violated your laws and your constitutional rights because they didn't give you the notice.
Yes.
They went directly to them.
Well, I thought I should have been brought before a judge and had my case heard because my father had these properties permitted from that time before.
Okay, so your father owned
cyber,
the property. Yes, your father owned the property, Blake.
Yes,
but what I want to know is this: was he given permission? Were there approvals? Did he have a developer's license or approval to develop a residential community separate and apart from Spanish Wells?
My dear, this was here before any of that was needed. This was a community from '92. Hurricane Andrew destroyed it, and we pulled permits in '92 to start putting it back. The only permits we lost what was there before '92. I have everything from '92 up until 2017, the extension of the church.
So he was given permission, and then you took over and you got permission to have this development there because it's a housing development.
My dear, I asked. I was ill-knowledged. I seeked help. I seeked help from local government, local council. They said, it's nothing you can do, sir. It's got to go. Until I got old to Sylvanus Petty when he said, we'll overlook it. I'll walk you through it. We'll bring everything up to code. We'll get them permitted. And let's give us till the end of the holidays. And I also spoke with Prime Minister Brave to Cupid's Key on Thursday night, and he said it was being overlooked. He was just not past the paperwork because of the holidays. And they come on majority rule day to demolition. Ask yourself why. What government worker works on holiday, especially majority rule day, my dear?
So you think you were being singled out?
No, I know I was. And I mean, I could prove that, but in fair of my case later on, they might go in demolition the rest of what they ain't demolition yet.
So let's talk about it.
They said, signaled out,
they said about on the property there were only about a handful of houses that were actually up to standard. All the others were structures that were not up to standard and not up to building codes that have been put in place by the Ministry of Works. Can you respond to that?
Yes, ma'am. No, that was not the case. They were never inspected to that extent. They were just not permitted in the government. They had no recollection of them being permitted, and because they was from so long ago, I had neither from my father.
Who were they paying electricity and water and all this?
To our power company, because
in Spanish Wells.
Yes, ma'am. Because all of them was built by construction companies, my dear, not the Haitians. The ones they knocked on the road was built by Andy Higgs Construction. So then they don't, and this. When I went at them at first, they had no recollection of none of my buildings. As you could see earlier on a year ago, they marked all my buildings and said all of them was no good. Then all of a sudden, when I showed them,
because it seems then if they have no recollection of it, and I'm not the voice for Ministry of Works or immigration. I'm just saying though, obviously then something is missing. It was no formal and no official sort of recognition and registering of these homes and on this lot.
Yes, ma'am, and I received that from my father, and I asked. I was ill-knowledged. I apologize. They keep being so ignorant as myself. I apologize. That's our government's fault. But I didn't. I was ill-knowledge as to what to do. I have a ninth grade.
It was the government. You have a ninth grade.
I have a ninth grade education. I started fishing from the age of 11, my dear. So my education ain't the best, but I seeked help. And the only person who gave it was Sylvanus Petty, and then they stepped on him. It was political, my dear. I apologize.
I am told, many Bahamians looked at that before, even recently, and called it a shanty town and say, how can the government and the Ministry of Works continue to overlook that shanty town and while claiming or pretending to want to go and demolish others around the nation?
For 30 years. I was what is considered. Now, mind you, I was never, if you look up shanty town, I guess your education goes higher than me, I was never what you call a shanty town. I always had electricity. Me personally, I lived there for 30 years and 34 years and never had running water until Brave Davis just give it to me because everybody else denied me water. So I had to live in a shanty town as a Bahamian without running water for 30 years. So now I'm just got running water and electricity. So I'm not classed as a shanty town. Check your dictionary, my dear.
What I wish we had pictures of how
Oh,
they...
no, they were. I've been threatened since the age of 18. They was going to knock them down. There's nothing I could do. So what money was I going to put into them, my dear, with threats that there was nothing I could do?
So
they
you
had
were,
to go.
how long were you getting $50 a week?
Oh, no, my dear, what I was getting pays my bills. We don't need to go into that, but
No, of course not.
I
just
support
want to
3
know
different families.
about bringing
but
up the
nothing's
structures
left.
up to standard.
Oh, no, I was willing. I would have found the money to do that. I offered that. That's what our Thursday meeting was about with local council.
Mm-hmm.
Local council walked around with Mr. Petty and he said, we'll overlook it. Then local council didn't show up when the task force showed up to knock my places down to say, hey, no, we talked about this yesterday, it's not going to happen. That was my frustration you seen on TV. And my sister's frustration come from the assault the officer did with her, punching her in the back. And they still had that officer on my property the next day. So that was the insults we was throwing out that day. Nothing to do with no cultural racism, Bahamian people. I apologize to anybody who took it that way.
What did you say?
On behalf of me and my family.
What did you say?
Oh, it was what I didn't say was more easier, my dear. They come into my church while it was raining, and I wanted to get out of the rain, so I asked to get inside, and they held gunpoint and told me I couldn't come in my own building. So,
Eric, do we have those videos? D'Angelo, we have those videos that we can play one of them?
The woman said it was raining.
Yeah.
And you could hear what I said in the video.
Okay, there it is. It's raining. And
Yes, ma'am.
this is talk about what's happening here.
Well, this is me approaching just to show that I couldn't. They had no rights to be there, but they wouldn't let me in.
If God's coming, this is my building.
I am not ashamed for nothing I said, my dear. I was upset and frustrated, and then they was taking shelter in my building after knocking down my Haitian refuge, my houses. They was their refuge and shelters. Now,
This is you that we're hearing.
yes, ma'am. Now the church is their shelter now.
This ain't yours.
I'm just begging for
This Blake Benders.
some rights.
Leave. Come outside. Finish what you was sent to do illegally. Finish it.
So Blake, what is happening now? By what those people were they legal people in Spanish Wells?
My tenants?
Yeah.
No, my tenants has to sign a paper and bring their permit, their ID, and national insurance, some form of identification before I rent to them.
Mm-hmm.
If you notice, that's why that's been going on for 4 years, because the task force has been coming every week or two, and that's never yet once, which you see Mr. Sweeting would have loved to publicize, never once found illegal on my property, my dear, because that's well maintained.
I'm wondering though, in terms of that development that your family has owned for many decades now, was there any official sort of, hey, we have every paper to be developers?
My dear, that was from 1979. I was ill-knowledge about anything needing to be a developer or anything to put cottages on my property to rent to people, my dear.
Yeah.
I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, I know it's generational. I know that,
Okay.
but this is what they're trying to.
I didn't
to
put
sort of-
these here. So you explained to me how long that's been a law that I need to get this video since, like I said, 92. And the last...
Well, I want you to listen to this, right?
2017 was the last.
The verbal conference. By the way, it's more videos, guys. If you could pull up another one, we would love to see it. Blake was livid. That verbal confrontation during the government-led shantytown demolition in Spanish Wells sparked conversation. Many of you paid attention to them, the videos. In fact, even other Spanish Wells residents, Blake, sent me videos.
Yes,
So Eyewitness News, of course, you know what we do. We take to you and we kind of put the question to you on social media, and we did. And so we asked the question, do you agree with the government's decision to demolish the illegal structures? Blake, I want you to listen to this. Look at the screen, Blake, if you don't even listen to me.
Yes, ma'am.
96% of participants voted yes.
Yes, ma'am. No, I agreed too, but I was trying to get them regulated, my dear. I actually had to go to court to put these people off my property. They made me, as a landlord, go to court. I've been trying to move them for 4 years, my dear. I've got people in court now that I can't put off my own property. And actually, that was one of the houses that they left there. The people they won't let me put off. I have to go to court to put them off, but they don't have to go to court to put them off my own property? Help it make sense, my dear. Please.
Blake, so if you're just tuning in, this is Blake Pinder. Blake Pinder he and his sister inherited that land on Spanish Wells from their father from the 70s or 60s, where he had Haitians
That's when he started, yes, ma'am.
come in, and the people of Spanish Wells agreed to have that little section there for them. And this is where, because they worked for the people of Spanish Wells,
Yes, ma'am.
and so they worked and they lived there. But the question is, was it ever legalized? Was it ever done? Yes, it was understood, the unspoken law, that's what it was. But how far did it go in terms of becoming officially something that was approved? Blake, I thank you very much for joining me. Anything you want to say? I want to give you an opportunity for a final comment.
Before we finish, like I said,
Blake,
I did apologize on behalf of me and my family. We weren't throwing no insults, only to the ones that I thought was wronging me. And as to the aspect of whether or not it was legalized or up to par, I searched for that and searched for the answers, tried to have a meeting with Mr. Sweeting, and I was denied at every turn, my dear.
Well, I hope you can get your meeting with Mr. Sweeting.
No, ma'am,
but you know, I'll tell you you don't want it no more?
No, I'd love to, but he
okay.
don't want it apparently.
Yeah,
Mr.
no.
Sears from immigration
I'll
tried
tell
to
you-
set up one.
Yeah.
He denies at
I'll
every
tell you
turn.
this though, Blake, and you know
Till
this
they
very
knock
well.
it.
Just recently, there were groups of Bahamians who were on Spanish Wells talking about that and describing it as a shanty town.
Oh, yes, ma'am. As I said, my dear, what they knocked down, I was trying to clean up since my father passed 5 years ago.
Blake, you want to say one other thing before we wrap up the segment?
Just that I was denied on every turn the option to make it right, my dear. I was supposed to go before a judge, and the judge tell me, Mr. Pinder, you did it wrong, and I'll say, Your Worship, I'm glad to get it right. I was never given the chance, the opportunity as a Bahamian to fix what I inherited. If my dad stole something before I was living, shouldn't I be given the chance to give it back before I was arrested?
Yes.
Thank you, my dear.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank
Blake
you.
Pinder, resident of Spanish Wells, in the middle, really, of that whole demolition exercise a couple of days ago, here this evening, speaking and sharing his truth and his point of view of that demolition exercise. Beyond the Headlines is back right after this.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com. Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go, to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods, taste the difference.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2, see the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3, enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
Running out of space? We've got room for that. Welcome to Skyline Storage, your trusted self-storage solution. Skyline Storage offers units from 5x10 to 10x30, climate controlled or standard dry. Perfect for home or business. Located in Westfield Commerce Park, Western New Providence. Your belongings stay safe with gated access and 24/7 surveillance starting at $175 a month. Reserve, pay, and move in online. No phone calls, no paperwork. Visit SkylineStorage.com. Skyline Storage. Storage made simple.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you all tuned in this evening. We're going to get right into some hot topics because we have a lot to get to in the next two segments. And so welcome to Beyond the Headlines. My contributors this evening, Peggy Candace and Gabrielle McKinsey Aeneas. Ladies, good evening to both of you. It's good to have you both here. Just a whole lot happening today. Of course, you all saw the first segment. That was a huge story and continues to be. With the videos that are going about. Your thoughts on just how, you hear Blake's side. Blake say, listen, this was land and property that his father left. And yes, he was trying to do the right thing by it. But those were Haitians that are known to Spanish Wells, have their papers and are renting from him to be on that property. Just a whole confederation. Your thoughts on all of this?
Good evening, Shanique, and good evening, Bahamas, and of course, all of those of you watching all around the world. I got to shout out the international viewers, Shanique. But this is the definition, like Mr. Blake said, we need to pull out our dictionary. So I pulled out mine of a conundrum. This is a conundrum, if I may say the least. Blake has inherited property. Obviously, back then, these structures were allowed. His father built these structures because the immigration laws stated that once you bring in these persons, you have to have somewhere to house them, etc. So this structure was at one point regulated. Mm-hmm. Now, in moving and refreshing our building codes, this structure stands out when you have the entire island of Eleuthera modernizing, building, renovating. Yeah. There's this one shantytown that sticks out like a sore thumb. So while I understand Mr. Blake's plight, he has a situation where he had years to try and get this up to code. Now, according to him, he wasn't able to do that. He tried to do this the right way. So after hearing him, I have so much more questions, Shanique, than answers. Honestly, it's like an episode of Wrong Turn. I just don't know where to go with this. Mm-hmm.
Hi, good evening, Shanique. Thank you for having me. Good evening, Bahamas. In 2017, I was taken on a tour of Spanish Wells, and I was also taken to see the shantytown. It is a contained area. It doesn't spill over into the other areas and community of Spanish Wells. They had a church and very tight, close community. And you would see people going to and from on their bicycles in the area. At that time, it was no major concern on the island. And as Gabby says, laws change and the immigration problems and the illegal building problems became a national concern, especially during election time.
Yeah, and
I mean
but also let's think about the safety of everything. You know, Eleuthera is one of those islands prone to be in the path of hurricanes and all the rest of that. So it's safety. There are health standards and just a whole lot of questions. And yes, we know it was a contained area. Spanish Wells is not going to allow something to spill over and get into other areas. They are where they are, and that's where they remain. But is it something that we should ignore and turn a blind eye to because they have done it so well?
No, I think just like Mr. Pinder said, that he made several attempts to have the building code corrected and to modernize the area that he had inherited from his father. And so there are many questions, there are many concerns that need to be addressed. And the question is now, was he handled wrongly by the government when it came to the demolition on Monday?
Yeah, because I think Peggy and Shanique, he did mention he tried to get these persons off of the property so that he can make the necessary adjustments. And according to him, he didn't get his day in court. He had to go to court to try and get people off of the property to do what was necessary. And instead, you didn't come with a court date to say, hey, this is what we need to have done. Instead, you came with a demolition order. And with it being so close to election, everything now can seem politically motivated. Is the government doing this to get their numbers up in terms of making a hard stance on immigration? So was it a political target to let persons know in Eleuthera, hey, we've demolished the only shantytown-looking structure on the island? Is this for points, or was it absolutely necessary?
I think the task force went through the legal process, getting the legal permission, authorization to do, because they can't demolish any area without the legal authorization through the courts. And additionally, Mr. Pinder admitted that notices was placed on the building while he think they should have been brought to him.
Yes.
Is that the protocol? The notice are put on the building. I'm sure he was aware that this was going to happen, and I think because it did not happen before, I guess he took for granted that it wouldn't happen again. And he said he was given assurance by different politicians that it would not happen, but the task force obviously carry out the law according to their rights and authority by law.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's something we're going to continue to watch. He said he does want to continue and try to have that community regularized and to build the structures, to bring the structures there up to code. And so we will see exactly where he gets with that. But I'll tell you, it's still a very sore topic for Bahamians because they feel, are you not going to touch that shantytown? It's illegal after all. I mean, the land may be owned by him and his family, but were they granted and given permission and approvals to make a development there? And so we will continue to watch that and see how that plays out. But meantime, ladies, and I know you both are well aware of this, there was a great deal of panic around the Bahamas today as the Trump administration announced its new U.S. visa policy. There's also a lot of misunderstanding surrounding that announcement. And so here's what's happening. Bahamians seeking to legally migrate to the United States could soon face major delays after U.S. officials announced an indefinite pause on immigrant visa processing for applicants from more than 70 countries, including the Bahamas. The decision announced by U.S. State Department will take effect January 21st and will impact those applying for permanent residency, commonly known as the green cards. U.S. officials say the move is aimed at cracking down on what they describe as abuse of their immigration system by individuals who become dependent on welfare and public benefits, and the Americans are very, very upset about that. Yeah, the countries reportedly affected include Haiti, Somalia, Iran, and several others across the Caribbean, Africa, the Middle East, and Asia. The policy comes as U.S. President Donald Trump continues a hardline immigration agenda targeting both illegal and legal pathways into the United States since returning to office. It also comes as President Trump has let the iron fist fall on Somalians who are residents in the Minnesota area, and they were given a lot of fraud and speculation of fraud happening there. And so U.S. leaders are hailing it as a patriotic decision one that Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell says must be respected. As he acknowledged the foreign policy announcement, Mitchell also confirming that the Bahamian government has been informed of the decision, saying the country must respect the sovereign policies of the unit. That's why when we come and say sovereign, and this is sovereign nation, that's what we mean. So we have no choice but to respect what the United States, a sovereign nation, figures they need to do to protect its borders, and the people who reside there. And you know, so Mitchell says that there is no need for public panic, though, stressing that the pause does not affect non-immigrant visas, including tourist, student, and business visas. So you all heard, you can go there as a student, visitor, business. He also confirmed that the long-standing arrangement between the Bahamas and the United States regarding police records for travel remain in place. And so, ladies, your thoughts on how that played out today, and that major announcement that kind of shook up the nation for several hours today.
What was all the fuss about? I strolled straight down the part to see the part that said, see, all my colloquialisms come out when I get to traveling. I scrolled straight down to the part would say tourists still could come here.
Yes.
And I was like,
that's it.
Dismiss. Because I ain't trying to marry no one up in there. I ain't trying to stay in their country past 6 months. I want to get my things from Aunt Sam and Uncle Wally and come back home. I ain't got time for none of the foolishness. Bahamians cut the foolery. A lot, in all seriousness now, we have a lot of Bahamians going there
Absolutely.
and falling dependent on the system. Viral social medias of Bahamians all over the streets of the United States bumming and begging for $1, GoFundMe, this thing, all sorts of fraudulent activity when they thieving out of Wally and everywhere else. They are trying to defraud the government with fake marriages, especially some of these same-sex situations. They are going over there, finding persons to say, hey, you can marry me, we can pretend to be a couple so that I could get this green card. Listen, Donald Trump is not playing around. He's cracking down on all your hacks. He's hip to it. As they say, what? Clock it? He has clocked the T, okay? So for those of us that follow the rules, we cool, we straight, we good. We do our little shopping, we spend our little couple of dollars, and we come back home because I like that country that much to be there anyway longer than I need to.
But what is so amazing, and I saw the alarm by some people, and Gabby, some of the things you described, I mean, it sounds like things Bahamians will say in the Bahamas about Asian and other nationalities.
Same language.
Same scenario. And so I look and I smile because 3 days is enough. I got to come back to Bahamas. So that didn't move me at all. As long as I can shop online, I good. And so remember, be careful how you treat strangers among us.
Oh, very true. I tell you that. Of course, so you all here, you can still go for your vacations to the U.S. if that's where you desire to vacation or study, even conduct business. It's still allowed. Meanwhile, though, you all, listen, pull up your chair on this one. Pull up, when Eric told me about this last night, I'm like, Eric, you know what? I need a special time for that, a special moment, because there's no way you could be this dumb. Now, I don't think he saw I don't think he saw.
It was the glasses.
It's the glasses.
It's the glasses.
He didn't. Let me tell you something. You are a fully dunce man. Let me tell you why. Because he figured the guy ain't doing this, so he figured he was good. Sir, they now have cameras on glasses. So that guy was happy to entertain you. A police officer seeming to ask for a bribe from a tourist on a moped. It's a video that's put the Royal Bahamas Police Force and even the Bahamas in a negative light internationally, calling into question our ethics, calling into question and putting us in the category of just a little banana republic where the people have no kind of morals. Take a look.
So what was the option again? Cause I'm so lost right now.
Who said I'm so lost right now? Oh, the guy said I'm so lost right now? So listen, fully dunce. Look that up. Since you like the dictionary tonight, look up. No, seriously, Gabrielle, look up fully dunce.
Let me get my Bahamian dictionary.
Look at what fully dunce mean, because
100%.
listen to me, it's no way, sir. And I know he is stunned. Sir, yes, glasses now have cameras and they could download the video and do whatever they need to do with it. And obviously you are the star of the moment. Peggy and Gabrielle, your thoughts about something that was just so stupid. If you needed to pull this man over and give him a ticket or whatever it is, do it. If not, let him go.
Fred Stanford was saying, you big dummy. You big dummy. I mean, this is what you're getting fired for. This is what you make your mother shame for. This is what you bring shame to your family and your father's house for. $20 or so. Big dummy. I think you should be fined just for being that
just for being a dunce.
I mean, we're making light of the situation. Obviously, it's something serious. So to the viewers, I really want you to know we're just being a little bit facetious. We're just making light of a serious moment.
Look at the guys. Listen, now, sir, look at that. I want every police officer to take a look at that. Police officer, when you see a couple of extra screws that you all figure, oh, that's just a nice glasses. That's a camera looking at you, okay? Thank you very much, Eric, D'Angelo. Who else in the back? I don't know if Chance in the back there, Shadi. Thanks. That is how the camera, and remember, I think I'm going to have to get in on one of them. But Gabrielle, continue.
The Ray-Bans record now. And even though we're making light of the situation, it's unfortunate because there are times when persons are pulled over and they need a little break. And not saying that you have to give the officer something financially, but there are cases, maybe a mother had to jump in a car, it's emergency, and she may not have had a driver's license or insurance on her at the time. The vehicle is fully licensed and insured. She may not have it on her right then and there, and she may need a little break. And as we call it, let me get my Bahamian dictionary, Shanique. She need a bly. She need a bly, and now it's hard now to get a bly because they can say, listen, you see my boss in the khaki behind there? He watch it. He watch it, so I have to give you this ticket. And it's unfortunate that in the month of January, you were so broke that you had to
Gabrielle,
harass.
I don't think he was broke.
Did it have to do with brokenness? Why would you?
No, you don't understand. There are many people around us who feel as though they're getting over. The best day for him is to go home with more money than he walked out of his house with. That's what it is.
So his thing is, he need that money. No, that wasn't allowed.
The thing is, see, we like to tax people or figure we are getting over on you and somehow using your money to buy lunch versus ours. That's a Bahamian thing. And so he just figured,
Shanique, I was trying to make it sound a little better, like he was down on his dollar and he really needed that at least. No. Mind you, there's no excuse for his behavior. There is none. There is none. The code of ethics, the standard that he should uphold as law enforcement, you are the standard of the law. You are enforcing that. You want everyone else to respect and obey the rules of law. And you are here trying to accept a bribe, but actually initiate a bribe.
As a law-abiding citizen, it is offensive to me simply because they say in the Bahamas and Bahamians.
That's what they're saying.
I'm a law-abiding citizen.
Forget Bahamas social media. It is rank on international social media, and they're saying that the Americans now, you all surprised?
Corruption.
You all surprised? That's what they do over there, and that is the vexing part. But listen, here's a question for you as we go to the break: is the PLP trying to brainwash children? That's what many people are saying. We're going to talk about that and show you the video when we come back right after the break. Stay close.
I am a master plumber by profession. I've been doing plumbing for over 40 odd years. When I was 9 months old, I was diagnosed with polio. To me, living with polio, I took it the way it is. I never allowed my polio to get in my way of anything. In fact, I love when people doubt me, and I just prove them wrong. And let me tell you, in the world, you could only find a plumber as good as me, but you ain't gonna find no plumber better than me. People with disability, they just need a chance. In this program, I feel so encouraged. Most of the mentors have different kind of disability, but disabilities like me. Sharing and caring and showing so much support with people with disability. They would encourage you to go beyond. I wish this was around a long time ago. Right now, I would have been a millionaire. You out there who have a disability, don't be afraid. Take the step. If you believe it, you could achieve it. And remember one thing, ain't no one better than me, and ain't no one better than y'all. God made all us equal.
For more information about how the SBDC can help your small business to make a big impact, give us a call at 461-7232 or visit sbdcbahamas.com.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you all tuned in. You all, the students of Garventines Primary School, participated in a special assembly this week. Of course, you know, it was Majority Rule Day on, well, Saturday, but officially recognized on Monday. And so on Tuesday, they had the special assembly. I'll tell you what happened as a result, though. So we're going to see the video in a second. But people said, and it went, this is a locally viral video. What the hell is this? The PLP is trying to brainwash the school children even. Let's take a look and then I'll have my panelists weigh in. Okay, so there are the kids, and they seem to be singing or chanting a number of PLP, let's say, election type songs. But I'll tell you, so I reached out to the Ministry of Education today, and the Director of Education said, when we launched the new history text, students reenacted Pindling throwing the mace out of the window and a march to Southern Recreation Grounds in commemoration of Black Tuesday. Each grade level presented an item that portrayed the timeline of the events that led to majority rule. These events included the Burma Road riot, women's suffrage movement, the birth of the PLP, the general strike, history of the women's rights to vote, and Black Tuesday. Students performed a song and gave facts related to the birth of the PLP during the occasion. The item was recorded by a parent and posted on social media. It was unfortunately taken out of control. This was from the Director of Education. I'll say, from the moment I looked into it, because I got it directly and then it kept coming, and I was told, listen, that's a majority rule assembly. Mm-hmm. So then you must then ask, because it's being made political, like the PLP trying to somehow influence the kids, so the kids could whisper in their parents' ears and tell them how to vote. I know they cannot strong arm a whole school of senior staff and principals and vice principals and the rest of it, or teachers. And if everyone was sitting there happy to participate and have those kids participate, I dare say the PLP could not even dream to have that much influence on the school at Garventines. But ladies, your thoughts about that and how that just turned into a whole sort of, I don't know, nasty thing that the kids were probably so proud of?
I think now is the perfect time for you to tell us the definition of fully done.
Oh, fully done, yes.
Because they fully done. I watch it share over and over, and the sharers, I know they fully done. Fully.
I'll tell you this, fully done is a stupid, slow, or dull-witted person. Fully done.
Yeah, fully done.
But go ahead.
Y'all who sharing it in the groups, that's y'all right there.
The problem is we like what is known around the internet as clickbait. So we often take snippets of videos, and many persons are guilty of this. Snippets of video to get that I gotcha moment. And it's unfortunate that you're using the children of our nation to try and get this I gotcha moment. It is evident from the moment I was first sent the video. You can see the Bahamian flag. It's obviously at an assembly. I mean, just from pure common sense, I wouldn't even go into deduction skills and deducing what's happening around the school and the environment. You could clearly see, given that we were just coming out of majority rule, that this was something, a part of that. And whether we like it or not, the PLP is a part of our history when it comes to majority rule. That's what was birthed out of it. We cannot try to rewrite it. We cannot try to change it. We cannot try to twist it up. Now, things may have gone astray and other parties may have formed out of that, but no matter what, that is our history. And if we don't learn our history, we are bound and doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past.
I agree. I mean, you know, and I thought about that as well, because even after receiving that response from the Ministry of Education and the director, I thought about it and I'm like, but how can you get around it? Because if they wanted to somehow have a special assembly to in observance of Majority Rule Day, they could not get around the fact that I guess the PLP was birthed out of those several movements that I mentioned a moment ago. But you know,
but it also shows, Shanique, the level of desperation some have just gone to when it comes to trying to create a narrative about the Progressive Liberal Party, when they try to create a negative...
Or any party, because...
But it was targeted at the Progressive Liberal Party.
No, it was. You're right, it was. But I'm saying...
It's just a level of desperation, because if you're in the groups, you will see the individuals who are sharing this material and saying, disgusting, what a disgrace. No, dumps. You're the disgrace, because you are using assembly of students to create a negative narrative.
That is what it is, because I felt bad for the students, because you could imagine the hours of practice trying to memorize this, and being the parents were in the, I mean, it was a packed audience, it appears, and so everyone was very happy of the special assembly, and that is how it was interpreted and sent around. You know, I mean, listen, I know it's the political season, a lot is being said, mischievously or not, and but I guess leave them alone and let them have fun with what they're doing. Well, listen, you all, quickly, tonight is perhaps another face-off with the church, but this time with the defenders of the law, as a senior church leader takes a bold aim at the judiciary. Jose Etienne has the story.
I'm not laughing. You all laugh because you know it's true. And I mention it because it's disgraceful.
Addressing a packed Christ Church Cathedral, Bishop Leish Boyd said he's not amused by what he describes as deep inequality in the administration of justice.
How is it that a poor black man commits the same crime as a white person or a rich or well-connected black man, and the two of them get, listen to this, different treatment, and they get a different sentence? How is that?
That rhetorical question was put to Attorney General Ryan Pinder, who pushed back, saying the bishop's comments do not reflect the realities of how cases are handled.
Making a blanket statement like that doesn't take into account the facts and circumstances that are in each and every single matter that we look at.
Pinder pointed to investigative and legal limitations in some cases.
With one of the vessels that we seize on illegal charters in the country, we couldn't seize the vessel because the bank already had a lien on it, right? And so you look where you say, oh, what you seized the Bahamians vessel, but you didn't seize the foreigner's vessel. Well, there are other complications in those types of matters.
But critics of the system often point to high-profile cases involving wealthy defendants, including American businessman James Finkel, who avoided prison time after admitting to bringing 14 firearms and more than 1,000 rounds of ammunition into the Bahamas on his yacht in Bimini last October. Instead, he was fined more than $1 million.
You have the choice of a fine, or if you can't pay the fine, you get incarcerated. Some of the those that are convicted choose to pay a fine because they have the ability to pay the fine.
Beyond concerns about a two-tier justice system, members of the legal profession are also under fire for slow-moving cases and a growing court backlog.
Cases in our system drag out far too long. And it costs people time, it costs people money, sometimes money they don't have. Some of the red tape and the rigmarole that people go through is manufactured, and you know it.
But Chief Justice Ian Winder is rejecting those claims.
To suggest that there is a culture of complacency is unfortunate and reflects a lack of awareness of the challenges facing the overburdened system, or simply ignores the strident efforts being made to address them.
Well, ladies, I'll tell you this. You know, a lot you can chew on there. It's a whole lot. We know our system. I love to always quote Ralph Gonzalez, who was the former Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, about our judicial system here in the Bahamas and the need for reform. But your thoughts on what Bishop Leish Boyd had to say at that service?
Go ahead.
I concur deeply with the good bishop in saying that oftentimes there is a disproportionate in the administration of law to wealthy persons versus persons who are vulnerable amongst us. You see it all the time. Obviously, if you have $1 million lying around, you're going to choose to pay that over going to jail where you sitting somewhere with a bucket and a pan. I'll take $1 million for 200, Alex. That's a no-brainer. So the average man on the street who may have committed the same offense and could be fined up to $1 million as well won't have a spare million sitting down on somewhere to say, hey, let me pay this $1 million so I could get off scot-free. It doesn't work like that. On top of that, I agree wholeheartedly with the dragging of their foot from these legal counsels. A lot of time, Bahamians often complain. You retain a lawyer. They went up on the fees now, Shanique, this year. Last year. They went up on legal fees now in terms of consultation versus how long you've been in the practice now. So we've already paid you a consultation fee just to tell me whether I have a case or not. I didn't come here knowing I got all these problems. I didn't pay you $350 just to listen to me talk. Okay, we proceed with this matter. Every time you hear, you can't get this thing from the courts. You can't get that. I know persons who magistrates have issued court orders and judgments, and they still cannot get the paperwork between the corresponding attorneys, the registrar department. The whole system need to get thrown in the garbage, in the trash. The whole system. It's garbage.
It seems as though you...
I'm a law-abiding citizen, so I have no experience with the law, whether it works or not. I try to maintain that.
It doesn't matter if you're law-abiding. You may have to probate a will.
I tell you, you all have hung around media long enough, because you on this show frequently, that when we discuss certain things, it is quite vexing to hear how it goes. Or you've been paid. Certainly, you all follow news. You love reading the news and seeing the headlines. And sometimes it's stunning the way some maybe sentences are handed down, or the delays, the bottlenecking of the system. Like, it's just a lot that must be addressed. And I agree, there has to be some room for reform. We know the president of the Bar Association, Khalil Parker, disagrees with Bishop Lloyd as well, and I'm sure he will, because after all, the attorneys in the Bahamas are his members. But the thing is, you stop moving in slow motion intentionally sometimes, or just to prolong payment.
Especially if they bill by the hour.
That part, especially the prolonged payment, or and give people the justice they want. That's why we're seeing so much on our streets.
So much more.
And that's why we also have this reputation internationally. I'll tell you that police officer stuff didn't go over very well, so they painted the whole system as one corrupt little hick town.
I mean, our Bahamians who are away, ankle bracelet and all, calling the whole nation corrupt. And so I guess they're just concurring.
Ladies, of course, I thank you both very much for being here this evening. I thank all of you for watching. At the top of tonight's show, Blake Pinder from Spanish Wells, that row that he has going on, that kind of played out earlier this week. Blake joined me and talked about and just gave his side here on the show. And then these ladies here with the hot topics, just giving their opinions, thoughts, and perspectives on all of the day's big stories. And then there's you. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening. It's been awesome having you along. On behalf of my entire team, I'm Shanique Miller. Look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening.